Alright, it is day 3 of the Unsolved Mysteries episode of why Forks keeps disappearing from our house. And I'm a little bit nervous to open the drawer to see if all the forks are there. Because it's not because I don't want to lose any forks, it's because I really like the location of where I'm living. I like Phoenix. This is a Levine village, and it's a suburb of Phoenix. And when I walked into this house, which I found on Airbnb, I opened the door and I breathed a huge sigh of relief, both literally and physically, and metaphorically. The issue is that a lot of Airbnbs have meant to have so much air freshener and fragrances. And so I've learned that I have to book an Airbnb for, well, first I check that it's available for a month, and I book it for a day, make sure there's no problems like that, and then I extend the place. Very convoluted to deal with. And every Airbnb has had its share of problems. Some of them have fragrance issues, and then some of them have hosts that are just wacky. I had a place where I couldn't go 5 minutes without making a mistake, and the host complaining about various things. Like I would be in the middle of cooking, and I needed to go to the bathroom, and he complained that I made a mess. I'm in the middle, I'm just about to come out of the bathroom. And to the point that I felt like I literally couldn't breathe in that apartment. Anyway, let's get back to the forks. I think this is the most minor issue I've had at most Airbnbs. So I had 18 of them yesterday. Okay, hopefully this will go a little bit faster than counting the ballots for Trump and Biden. 1, 2, 3. This one's unopened. 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 18! Yay! I guess my approach of killing the thief with kindness has kind of paid off. Anyway, my heart sank that first day of moving here because I had opened the refrigerator to prepare some fish. I had a box of tilapia fish, and in my haste, because I had been fasting 30-some hours, so in my haste to get the fish, some of the fluids from the packet spilled on the floor, and no big deal. And then I go up to get paper towels. There's no paper towels. Not to mention there was a huge pile of dishes. I finally took care of that. I got some gloves and took care of that. So I drove 2 miles away to a grocery store, pick up some paper towels, some gloves, come back, clean up the floor. As I'm cleaning up the floor, I noticed how dirty it had been because nobody had cleaned the floor for some time. And I was exhausted after doing that. I just said, hey, I could continue this fast. So I didn't get to the fish. I put the fish back in the refrigerator, and I went upstairs to take a nap. I was exhausted from dealing with that. And I come downstairs and I'm like, okay, I can put some gloves to take care of the kitchen, the dishes in the kitchen sink. That will help me extend my fast by another 20, 30 minutes. And I come downstairs and my heart dropped. The gloves were gone. A whole box of latex gloves, about 100 of them were all gone. And my heart just sank. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, the people who I'm living with, there's one college student and one who's about my age. I don't think he's the one who stole it, but there's two other people who are college students. So they steal a box of gloves worth $6. They steal a bunch of paper towels. We can't even keep toilet paper in the bathroom anymore because they'll steal it. Okay, so they get away with 10, 20 bucks worth of stuff every month. They would rather the kitchen be a disaster because nobody can keep anything in there. Now we got to keep all our silverware in our room. Our rooms are a disaster too. Is it really worth saving 10, 20 bucks a month in order to have an inferior... I'd rather upgrade my living conditions to not have to do that, even if I can't steal 10 or 20 bucks worth of stuff, right? That's my opinion. My heart just sank because I was talking to the roommate of mine who's an EMT worker. He's about my age. And he suggested that I just take my silverware to my room and avoid all the drama. I could, but it just doesn't feel right. I know, I sound silly. For him, it's so easy. Oh, the other thing is that he complained that after I mentioned my forks were missing, he mentioned he had a box of disposable ones I could use. And he opened them to show me, and then his heart sank too because all the forks were gone. He had just bought this box like a few days ago because his silverware went missing too. And then we opened it up, and to both of our amazement, all the forks were gone. Only spoons and knives. Oh, there's one fork, but that's about it. And we joked that maybe there's like a... I don't know if anybody here watches South Park, but there was an episode on the underwear gnome, and we joked that we had a forks gnome in our home because 6 metal forks of mine, and then some of his, plus all those plastic forks, and we looked everywhere. We were curious, right? Because the last thing we wanted was maybe somebody has a bad habit of not doing dishes, and the forks are like stuck in the couch, and then we're going to have an infestation of insects. We were worried about that too, so we looked everywhere. And I even took a metal detector around the living room just to be sure. Nothing. And so we knew that it had some kind of weirdness going on. And that's when I decided to play the test. But I think I killed this guy with kindness. I'm very pleased that I did. Because I really despise having to live in a situation where I have to hide my stuff. I am so through with that. When I was working on my PhD, I got my own office and I got to live in there. Of course, I had to hide the fact that I was living in there. And so every morning I would wake up really early, hide all my stuff in my car, and having to hide silverware just brings back all those memories of not having a good place to live. And I don't know, I'm hoping the guy who was living here, he probably isn't going to stay here very long anyway. I'm going to continue to kill him with silence until he feels so much pressure that he doesn't want to live here anyway. That's been my plan these last couple of days. It certainly beats being upset. You got to understand, not that long ago, things like missing forks used to kill me. I would be getting ready to eat my favorite fish, get it out of the fridge, and then I don't have a fork, and I would just be in such a mess. That, had I moved here 2 years ago, oh my God, I'd probably go to jail for assaulting that guy. Seriously, I used to have a very bad eating disorder. That's why it got to me that I had to do something about this guy, but in a constructive way, obviously, because I thought about my former self. Anyway, that's another story for another time.